Okay, made it. Just. So, here we are. Made it. Just. Is that going to be the same chat window or something different? I don't know. Here we are. Okay, it is the same chat window. Okay. All right. I'm at the bench, but preparation is not done. So anyway, whatever. Let's just get going on this. What do we got today? Today's something a little bit different. Well, we've done this sort of thing before, but the prints. Good morning. Something a little bit different here. Oh, top secret. Save this for later in the chat. Anybody can read this? Save that for a bit later. Today it's going to be another one of these embossing days. We've got some embossing to do. It turns out that I'm the only guy in the place that can do this well. So it ends up on my desk every time. Excuse me. Okay, as usual, I'll explain to the first few people, the early visitors here, what I'm going to do, and then I'm going to start the work. And as people join the stream, they're all going to be asking what's going on. What we've got, I don't know how we can show them. There are two barren mark things here. Get some light on them so you can see them. We didn't carve these. This is a plastic block. And there are two barren marks, one facing this way and one facing that way. And there are two prints. Well, let me just get one of the prints so you can see it. It's easier to show. Package of prints just came back from one of our printers. And these are the prints in our Mystique of the Japanese Print series. I issued it myself years ago, about 10 years ago, as personally carved, personally printed. And now here at Mokuhankan, we're releasing it again. We've got a number of people subscribing to this. And we make them in pairs. There's a long, thin wood block that we print the things on. We've carved all the blocks. And when they come back to me here, they're in pairs. And there's an embossing, beautiful embossing, which is done with a carved block. This one, look at this. This has kimedashi. This is somehow pushed out from the back. See it? The paper is actually pushed down inside. There's a carved hollow in the block we push inside. Anyway, they come to me like this, and there's an empty space, white on white. If you can see it, there's an empty space here where those two circular barren marks that I just showed you have to be embossed. And the printer who did the prints for me doesn't want to do that. He's too scared about screwing it up. So after I do a test here, we'll be putting this paper in the registration mark here, and I'll be embossing the back of this thing. But I've got to make sure it's in the right location, because there's no room for error. If I get it a tiny bit off, because these prints have to be sliced apart for sending to subscribers. So let me see if there's a bad copy here in the stack I can use for a test. I don't think there is. No, we're just going to have to fly live. Just going to have to fly live. You're just going to have to do one, see how it turns out. The reason I moistened this blue sheet is because the paper, this is dry, and to do a nice embossing, we need a little bit of moisture on it. It's got to be, I would have preferred this had been done when the paper was still moist for the printing, but as I said, he doesn't want to do this job, so it's up to me. Let's try one here. Well, I do believe we've got it. How can I show this to you? Nah, how can I show this? Does it come up? There it is. I think we've got it now, Ken. Does it show? Yeah, I think it shows there, right? And they're oriented in a different way. This print is going to be a horizontal print this way after they're cut apart. So it reads Mokuhankan, this orientation. After they're cut apart, this will be a vertical print, of course. So the embossing on this one reads Mokuhankan in this orientation. And our shipping ladies, of course, are going to slice this in half, and out they go. Where's the cut line going to go? Now it's going to go right there. Yeah, we're good to go. We're good to go. Okay. The next half hour's work is not going to be all that interesting, but it's got to be done. So, Urashima Taro ne. So, I guess you know these two designs. This is the famous Urashima Taro, the boy who went under the sea and lived there for hundreds of years. This was designed for us by Kaori-chan, one of the girls who's working for us as shop staff. She did the designs we've been using in the print party room, the Sensoji Temple and the Momotaro. And she's doing the line work for the next print that we're having in our print party room, which we announced on our Kickstarter campaign a month or so ago, a couple months ago. So I put this pad, just a minute, if I reorganize the work a little bit here, hang on a sec, if I put this down here, I want to, like my hand wants to put the barrel here and it goes on the wet pad, so I should put the moisture here, I think. Let's see. This is here, this can go here. Let's try it this way. Moisture's in front of me here, that makes more sense. Lock it in. Oh, I hear two sounds there, an order sound for the new series and then a question sound. In fact, there might be questions from yesterday. I have no idea. I didn't look at the box at all yesterday when I was doing that video thing, of course. This is nice. I like this very much. All right, questions. Oh, 2 subscriptions in one go, in one mail. Twitch questions 3. Question about the new series video. You've caught me, Nate. So, in the video yesterday, I didn't do it in one take. I had to do it actually it took pretty much 3 takes yesterday. And everybody's thinking, I don't know, people congratulating me on the stream. Yeah, wow, this guy makes it look so easy. This guy makes it look so cool. I screwed up so badly in that video yesterday. I was talking about what we wanted to try and do for a new series. I think, I listed off 3 things. It's got to be fun, it had to be funny, and then I tried to say it has to be inexpensive. But I ended up saying, and it's got to be expensive. I don't know, whatever, brain fart. What can I say? Just whatever. So when I was doing the editing, I had to go back and put a visual memo on the bottom of the video, you idiot, it was inexpensive. And somebody's calling me out on it here. Why did you say the prints would be expensive? Whatever, I'm sorry, I know that wasn't the idea. So, all right, what's the next question here? Yeah, this is interesting. I know, boy, oh boy, oh boy. These days, Nick, we make our own prints here. In fact, the very example here. We're going to send the new prints, right? We're going to trim them cleanly and clearly. Somebody's asking, those old prints, the old Doi Hunger prints or the Hasui prints, they come actually in a form like this. The image is there, it's cut on one side, and there's loose paper, what's it called? The selvage, we call it the mimi, is still there on the outside. How come we don't do it that way? Why don't I do these prints with loose selvage around the outside? The answer is sort of simple. I know if you think of the paper to make those Doi Hunger prints or our Great Wave print, whatever, think about it. Let me just draw the Great Wave here. The paper we get has enough size, dimensions, to have the Great Wave twice. So out of some single sheet of paper, the single sheet of paper made by the maker, we get 2 Great Waves. Now we've got to cut it in half, so automatically one side is going to be straight and flat. Then we've got to put it in the registration marks, so at least one corner, or perhaps the other whole side, gets cut straight or flat. But it's very common on the large prints then to leave the ragged edge on the other 2 sides. So those Doi Hunger prints we have in our shop, this has been cut, eh? So this is straight, and the top side and the left side are loose, the original selvage. Now for us, when we make larger prints like that, like the Great Wave, my Great Wave too, is sometimes I leave it on the selvage and sometimes I trim it. But once you get a smaller print, it's got to be cut on 4 sides because you're cutting 12 of the things out of one sheet of large paper. And you can't have the natural edge on all of them. The one we're making right here, this is an example. This is, we take this paper, here we go, find an example here. Look at this. Here's a sheet cut on both sides, and here's a sheet with the natural edge on one side. What's going on? Because, we just draw it right here. Well, no, I don't want to mess that thing up. Let's draw it here. That same sheet that we used to make 2 Great Waves, we're going to make 4 of these pairs. We cut it in half and cut it in half again and cut it in half. So for making these strips, 2 of them are going to be absolutely cut straight. And then 2 of them have a wiggled edge around the outside. But when it comes time to ship them, we're going to trim them all around to give a clean edge. There was another question. How thick is the cherry on top? Okay, do I have a wood block in front of me? Oh, blah, blue, blue, blue. Yes, I do. I have the top secret blocks for one of the next Heroes projects. Someone's asking me about the cherry thickness. You tell me, what is it? Have I got a scale? We're saying 5 in general. I think this one's a little bit less. No, you know that? It's 5. It's 5. The inside plywood core is 15. The inside plywood core is 15, the top cherry is 5, and the bottom cherry is 5. That's 5 after dressing. It's now smooth and clean. So we start with somewhere closer to 6, and after it's all dressed, it's down to 5. So I guess somebody's maybe thinking about making their own. In fact, he even sent a picture here. Yeah, 6 to 8. We don't need anywhere near 8. That's a huge waste of cherry going as thick as 8. Okay, I gotta get to work here. Gotta get to work. What am I doing? I've got about 80 of these sheets to do here today. And then there's another job waiting for me. If I do get this finished in time, I've got a second job waiting for me. What are you guys talking about Christmas dinner? Jed-san, are you on the stream here today? I was talking to Jed on Skype about a half an hour ago, and I had to cut it off, ask him to cut it off to get busy with the stream here. But I'd like to chat about something there. Jed-san, are you on? You are here. Can I throw an idea at you? I know you threw an idea at me earlier this morning here. You showed me a design. A fairly straightforward design, that little sketch of the shrine thing there that you were chatting with somebody to do. I was thinking about that while I was getting ready for the stream here, about whether I want to put prints like that in the shop or not. And the more I think about it, you know, the more I think we really should try and make that happen, but not just in the shop. Suppose we did it online in either my website, the Mokuhankan website, or on yours, or both. We had a corner like this where we put these out to the world, you know, that design you're going to send to for carving and printing. What if we make this a real deal? I know you could put the designs out there, and not just for one person, but for other people to try and carve. And sort of not so much that anybody could try it, but that, yeah, anybody could try it. And I'm fumbling about the idea here. Make a route where people could actually do work, and if it was good enough, if the world thought it was good enough, they would get paid for it. I don't know. the point being that if somebody actually did really start to get good at this, there they are. They'd start to get compensated for it. They might even consider doing more seriously. And who knows, after a year or 2 years, there they are. They're making a living as a carver. I mean, this could actually be a bigger thing than we were thinking about, you know. To try and fill everybody else in on what I'm trying to stumble forward here tomorrow. I just woke up, I'm sorry. To try and fill everybody else in here, there's other people trying to do this carving and printing thing as beginners on this Acolyte page, and we would really like to encourage this to happen as much as possible. And out of the number of people that are going to try doing it there, some percentage of them are going to turn out to be really, really good at this. And if we can make this into a thing that's not just for play, for fun, but that there's a route forward where people can actually get productive on this, put things out into the market and get paid for them, that could be something really, really, really cool. Whatever, I should just, I don't know, whatever, just keep to work here. Get some ideas clarified before I start talking about them. I don't know. In that sort of semi-book, a long piece I wrote some years ago about the future of Mokuhankan, the vision I had for this place, I outlined in that story a shop, kind of like a shop we have now. But I also clearly mentioned that in that shop there was a trainee corner. There was a section of prints that were sold quite inexpensively, and maybe they weren't as perfectly made as the best prints in our shop. But the point being, these were prints made by people who were learning, were training. And they needed to be compensated for what they're doing, otherwise they won't have any chance to get better. And it might be time really sort of to make that happen now. I know I had just visualized it as something for the future, the far distant future. But maybe now it's time to make that happen. Within the Mokuhankan business, the shop here and the online shop, maybe it's time to do this, to open the trainee corner. And, you know, open to anybody, people who send us prints. We put them in the trainee corner. The reason I'm being a little bit hesitant about this is because I don't want all kinds of junk. I want stuff that's reasonably sort of, it looks like this person might be able to do something, you know. So I don't know. Do I have a quality line that I know this is not acceptable? Yes, this is acceptable. No, it's not. Do I try and play that game? Or do I leave this corner as being totally uncurated and people put whatever they want into it? I have mixed feelings about this. Mokuhankan is trying to be a place where we're really trying to put forward prints that are made so nicely, you know. And yet if somebody sends me something for the trainee corner that is really, oh my God, this person is never going to be able to do this. So I'm not quite sure how to curate this idea. So let me think about it at this end, and I'm open to any kind of suggestions at that end, from Jed as well, of course. He's designing for lots of these things. He's passing out designs to people. And if we can think of a way that sort of is a way to make this happen, we have the facilities here. The shop is here, and the website is here, and the way for people to buy things is here. And we'll pay royalties, you know, whatever. That's easy. So let's think about this thing together. The Mokuhankan.com trainee corner, or whatever. Maybe it would need a better name. I'm not sure. I don't know. Whatever. Beginner's corner. That sounds funky. The not quite ready for prime time corner. I don't know. Maybe that's it. Mokuhankan, in our shop and on the website, is what we would call a trainee corner with a subtitle, not quite ready for prime time. Let's do this. Let's do this. But how to curate it? I don't know. Would people get upset if I asked them, okay, look, send me something or send me a scan or whatever, and if I look at it and say, well, you're not quite ready for the not quite ready for prime time corner. Is that something that could happen? I don't know. Not quite ready for the not quite ready for prime time. Oh, also, okay, it's good. While Jed's here, he's probably going to run away soon. Jed, you still here? How's everybody's Japanese? Jed can read this. Okay, let's have a look at this. I know the... Where's the key block? Hang on, it's right beside me here. Okay, here we go. This is black, and I'm just going to show. This is one of the new prints in the last autumn's Kickstarter campaign. It's the one Jed called the Dragon's Quest. This is the key block and one of the color blocks, and I have right beside me on the bench here the full set of color blocks. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them carved both sides. This was an insane one to get going on. Anyway, the blocks were ready about a week or so ago, and Ayumi-san, she's given me a proof. She and I worked together on this. There's Jed's stuff. And I got to tell you, this is not ready yet. We've still got notes and notes and notes all over it. But let me get that bright Photoshop thing out of here. Can we see? We're looking at something like this. And we've still got all our notes. Some of them are not deep enough. Some of them are not strong enough. Some of them are overlapping a bit too much. But here's the first proof, the first trial proof of Jed's design. Is he crying? Ah, he's crying maybe. Who knows? Whatever. As I said, this is not ready. But it's going to be a thing. It's going to be a print. And the way that, you know, stuff disappears into the mist underneath it, and it comes out of the mist and smoke on top. It's my grandson calling. Everything happens all at once. Excuse me a minute while I try and tell him to call back a bit later. I hear coughing. Good morning, good morning. Andre, are you there? I'm live streaming right now, guys. I'm on Twitch. Hello, Andre. I'm on Twitch. You're talking to the world. I'll be free about 9:30, about 1 hour from now. Can I ask you to call back? Okay, thank you very much, guys. Sorry, I know you're broadcasting. Go over to Twitch. Go over to Twitch. Look for Japanese printmaking. You can see it there. Okay, catch you later. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
So yesterday my brother called? 2 days ago my brother called. He'd had a little bit of drink, I think. My mother's sitting there watching the stream this morning, I'm sure. I keep asking her, get in the chat and type, Mom. Talk to the people, but she won't do it. She's too embarrassed. And now my grandson. Anyway, where are we? What else can I show? There's nothing else to show really. You know, like I said, it's not really ready yet. There's some places where the dragon scaling doesn't quite show clearly enough. There's some places where it's a bit too dark. I don't know. Anyway, this is cool. It goes up here and gets really dark and gloomy at the top. It's not as bright and as shiny as Jed's. You know, Jed's Photoshop thing printed on shiny paper comes out like a Photoshop thing. You know, ours is a woodblock print, and with so many overlays. It's a dirty green overlaid with gray, overlaid with gray, overlaid with gray. There's so many overlays that it gets a bit gloomy. But, you know, maybe actually that's what this is for. So who knows? Anyway, there you are, Jetsan. It's up and started. I'm not quite sure when we're going to get the edition done right now. Suga-san is working on the... I forget what it's called, Trial of Strength. The Colossus print is done. This one's ready to go. The serpent blocks are back. Everything's happening all at the same time. People that just joined, here's what I'm doing. I'm doing the embossing of our Baron mark, our logo, as it were, on two of our recent prints. These are prints in the Beauty of Something series. Beauty of the Japanese print series. Mystique of the Japanese print series. We make them in pairs, slice them up. And these have got to go to our Ome workshop for shipping. So this is Saturday here today. I've got to do this over this weekend and get it shipped to Ome. Because collectors are waiting for these. You guys are talking, all right? It's good, okay. Good. Keep at it. Keep at it. Put the down so you can see what I'm doing here. Is that better? Just moisten one tiny corner of the paper, just for a second. There's a wet pad here. Just making the paper a tad moist. Into the registration marks. Support it with one hand because it'll slide all over the place because there's no pigment here. And try and focus exactly on that one spot. Because if I press around, it'll spoil the embossing in the other places. This is not easy. And out they come. Jed's off, is he? Christmas, nay. These are nice prints, you know, nice and clean. Printed really well. Yamamoto-san, young Yamamoto-san did them for us. He's working with Kubota-san. He's the boy who's been doing most of our great wave printing recently. I'm very happy to have someone that can do this well. You know, do you see this stuff, you know? The gradations are so nice, you know. We've got of course, the embossing on the outside, that's cool. Beautiful clean background. And such soft gradations on these fish, you know. I don't know if you can see it. This is what we call kimedashi. This fish seems to be bumping out, and it is. If you look at it from the back, you can see that. It's actually... Thank you, another loot subscription. So we've got a block where there's a hollow carved into the wood block, and we push the paper from the back down into that hollow. It's a couple of places. It's along the bottom of this fish, and it's in this fish. So the finished print, it's literally three-dimensional. A little bit too much, maybe, actually. This is so beautiful. And Kaori-san, she did a nice design for us on Urishima-ta. This is flat. There's no embossing here. Just classic ukiyo-e, flat colors, outlines. Very happy with this stuff. Beautiful prints, you know. So satisfying to be able to publish stuff like this. The fish and tree branch question. It's the genre called surimono, and it's sort of a thing like the nearest equivalent in the West would be we have still life. Some painter would get a table and put a vase and some flowers and fruit and stuff and just jumble them up and paint them as a still life. And this is a similar sort of thing. This obviously would have had some poetry or some reference to spring and a kind of fish that would have been harvested and collected in the spring. So although there's cherry blossoms and a fish, there's no intention that anybody's thinking that the fish are growing on the trees or anything. It's a still life kind of approach. A collection of images arranged in a beautiful way. It's like a flower arrangement in itself, just with these springtime objects. And these things absolutely relate to something mentioned in the poetry, which I can't read and don't have any idea what it says. Yeah, they're fugu, the fish, né? So I think I think this is, where are they on my old website? I can't see HTTP. I think that's the place where there's information on these prints and on the... It's a set of 18 I did. I think I did it back in about 2000 and... I don't know, 2010, somewhere on there, I don't remember. Oh, Mukashi. That link isn't going to work very well on a phone if you're on mobile, because that's a website I made a long time ago. Stop taking Bitcoins. You're talking to me, are you, actually? We did. We don't do Bitcoins anymore, obviously. It's impractical nowadays as an actual currency, so... Somebody's forgetting he's got these prints. You got too many prints, guy. Same position as me, you know. I get to my shelves in Ome and there's a print I want to look at and I can't find it, you know. And when you can't find it, you know, you've got too many prints. Well, I think you can have too many. If you can't remember where they are and what you've got, then it just becomes an accumulation, you know, rather than a collection, rather than something you're really enjoying, you know. There was that guy, what's his name? Arthur Fick, I think it was, one of the old collectors back in the late 1800s, early 1900s. One of the earlier Western collectors of ukiyo-e. And some of those guys, they were rich men. They started collecting all the stuff from Japan. The people that built the collections that later became the Boston and Chicago collections. And one of those guys had an interesting policy. He limited his collection to 100 prints only. So he's got his collection. He's got 100 prints. They're in portfolios, drawers, whatever. He knows what he's got. He's enjoying them. He looks at them now and then. Then he's going to a market or an auction or a shop and he sees something. He sees one more. And he had a very, very interesting policy. If he wants to buy that new print, he had to release one print from his collection out into the market again so somebody else could buy it. So this made him really think carefully. Do I really want this one? Okay, just a minute. Before I buy this new print, which one of my current 100 prints am I willing to sell to make room for it? And it was really, really interesting. It kept his collection vivid to him. It kept it active to him. And it also meant that prints went back out onto the market. So he didn't just keep it all to himself in his own room. You know, the more people buy and buy and buy, there's less for everybody else. So his policy was 100 only. And he really had to want something really hard before he would buy it, because it meant he had to let go of one of his current friends. And that was an interesting policy. Now, we're talking about a guy who's collecting really, really expensive stuff, Utamoto originals and things like that. So it's a bit of a different concept from someone like me, who's just trying to accumulate, oh my God, here's another beautiful little small object I'd like to have within myself, you know. But it's a very interesting concept. It really makes you value the things and makes you think about what you've got and makes you, you know, really analyze how badly do I want to have this thing, you know. Which I think I heard a question there. I ignored it. I'm sorry. Give me just a minute. Question. So many fanfares for the new series. I ignored the questions. Yes, there is. Yeah. Okay. It's not a relevant question. It's past. Sorry. I've got two similar series, the question. This is the one, The Mystique of the Japanese Print, which I did complete. I made 18 prints in the set. It went out in a beautiful box that I made. And I don't know how many I made, and not quite 200 of each. And then they were all gone. So what we're doing now is the same blocks. Our Mokuhankan printers are doing them. Before, I put my own Baron mark on, which was different from the one I'm doing here now. And I signed each one. So they were my own personal products. And now we're publishing them in a different way. We're publishing them as Mokuhankan publications. So it's the blocks that I carved, printed by our staff printers. And in order to keep them separate, to keep the differentiation, the Baron mark, the logo that's going on, is a different one. This one actually has the text. It has Mokuhankan inside the Baron mark. And I don't sign these. Then there's another similar series which is going on, which is called The Arts of Japan, which was supposed to be another set of 18 prints, similar sort of idea. That's my personal project, and it's paused at the moment after 8 prints. I got 8 of them issued, and then Asakusa came up, and I was thinking I'd be able to do both things together, but it hasn't turned out that way. And my own print series is, at the moment, it's in sort of a zombie-like resting situation. It's not dead. I really, really, really do want to get back to it. And maybe we're getting closer now to this time where I can do that. You know, Cameron's coming along. He's really now, he hasn't been too productive so much in the last few months because everything we do, we have to do together. I've got to explain, he does, I explain, he does. So he hasn't actually really saved me so much time yet. But now it's starting to catch up now. He is doing a lot of things he doesn't need to ask me about anymore. So, and certainly over the beginning of the year now, in January, he will be doing all the order processing, all the email replies to people who have ordered prints. All that sort of stuff is now going to go completely on his desk. We're in the middle of doing the email system transfer. All the email has been in my personal computer, and we're now moving to a company-wide email structure. So it's very much going to be a help to me. Boxes. Yeah, the boxes now for us are all done outside. We can't even think about making our own boxes. Back when I made this series first, I made the boxes myself. That was absolutely insane. I can't believe I had that much time. But no, now our boxes are all made outside. They're Polonia wood. We don't go China. We tried that. It was just an unmitigated disaster. Not to insult any Chinese people that were here, but if you're going to do it in China, you need to do it at a huge upscale level, making bajillions of objects like Apple does and controlling it from the top perfectly. When you're just ordering 100 of something, short scale production run, you're talking about a family workshop, and this is perhaps not the best way to go. So we don't do China anymore. We do Japanese suppliers, and they're more expensive, much, much, much more expensive. An order of Polonia boxes I got when I did my scroll project, for example, they were 1/10 of the cost of the Japanese ones, but they were almost unusable. We'd like something in between, but it just doesn't exist. Well, the arts one, I ran out of boxes for a start, but also I ran out of time. As I said, I can't, in all honesty, accept new subscriptions for my art series now, starting at print number 1, when there is only 8 there, and I haven't made another one for a couple of years. So the art series is sleeping at the moment, absolutely. There's about 80 or so people out there subscribed to it, most of whom, the ones that I've talked to, are understanding. They understand what's happening. A couple of whom have become very angry. They feel that I've abandoned them. They were long-term supporters, and because I've ignored them for a couple of years now to do this stuff, what I'm doing here, they're a bit upset about that. Whatever, there's nothing I can say about that, and beyond, apologizing and trying to say that there's a bigger picture here happening now than just my personal printmaking. But it was bad timing. I should have finished that series. In retrospect, I shouldn't have started that series. But I didn't know what was happening. I didn't know. Email from a guy, from Jed Henry. Dear Mr. Bull, I have an idea. I had no idea that was coming. changed everything. The email that changed the world. Nah. From Jed Henry to Dave Bull. It was somewhere in March or April of 2012. The email that changed the world. More new people here, haven't seen this, what we're doing. We're doing the embossing here, the Baron marks. Such a nice print, you know. My God, these are such nice prints. So it's all Jed's fault. Yeah, you can blame Jed for me not being able to make personal prints anymore. What do we got left here? We got about 15 copies left, and I've got another job to do. What time is it? Coming up to 9 o'clock. Okay, good. Might be just about right. There's two jobs to do here today. One is this embossing job, and I've got about 15 sheets left. Then the next job I have to do is not specifically making prints. Well, just wait a minute. Let me get there and see. Is this a new word? Ikesakana? Ikebana? The fish grow in trees, nay, so. Someone's saying thank you for the videos. Yes, thank you. Making the videos is good fun. And what's really fun here is in the shop. Yesterday there was a couple from, I don't remember, it all starts to blur together. There was 2 or 3 groups yesterday. They came in up the stairs and right away we can see what they're going to say. You know, they've been enjoying the videos. Thanks for making the YouTubes, and can we take a picture together? And it's really good fun, you know, every day now. There's no day here in the shop where this doesn't happen. And it's really heartwarming, you know, people are enjoying this stuff, you know. We chat for a while, they take a picture together, and then they're on their way. Sometimes people buy print, sometimes they don't. It's no big deal. That's not the reason why we do the videos, you know. But having fans like that, you know, people have come, that's a kick for me, you know. Maybe don't be angry at me for saying this, you know. Japan is a hugely interesting destination. There's so much dishes here. Temples, towns, Kyoto, Tokyo, history, 2,000 years of this and that, blah, 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 blah. A bajillion things to see and do. And you've got a couple, they come to Japan for 6 or 7 or 8 days. And out of that, they've spent a couple of hours. They've specifically come to Asakusa, come up here, come to look for our shop, and come to talk to me. Out of all that super interesting stuff to do in Japan, they've decided to spend X% of it, whatever, coming and visiting here. And that's, you know, I sort of actually can't wrap my head around that, you know. What are you going to do in Japan? Well, let's go and see the famous Kiyomizu-dera temple. Let's go and have some famous sushi, and let's go and see Dave. You know, I mean, what? This is just crazy, you know. So yeah, I got to try and stop my head from exploding, you know, but it's so much fun. Chat for a few minutes and let's take a picture and whatever. It doesn't get any better than this, you know. It's just so much fun now, day by day by day. You know? I'm tired. I know that video yesterday, I put it up on YouTube and I got an email like within 15 minutes, Dave, are you okay? You look so tired, you know. So I went back and looked at it. And yeah, I look tired. I'm sorry, you know. What can I say? I'm okay. I'm okay. Just, you know. I'm okay. As I said, with the new staff here coming on board, my workload my workload hopefully will at some point decrease, I guess. I don't know. The printer cut the corner on this one a little bit, so he's giving me a sign that there's something in here that might be an issue. And in fact, the last one was the same. He's cut the corner, and I can see what it is. At one point, there's some bark. There's a bark scrap in there. And it really catches your eye. It doesn't look good. So before this one goes out, that's my next job. I get the microscope up here and see if I can surgery that out. And I guess this last group now, there's the last 3 or 4 sheets here. He's cut the corner on all of them. So these ones, there must be some issue in here. I've got no idea whether they're going to be repairable or not. If I can't find it, it's probably okay. I don't know what he's done. Some of them might be his first warm-up sheets, which are just going to be perhaps not printed quite so cleanly and clearly. Or there might be a misregistration, or again, the most common one is bark. There's a bark scrap in there. And on a double print like this, we still do the embossing, because what's going to happen is it might happen that one of these, the left one or the right one, is spoiled by some bark or something. But the other one will still be okay. So we'll just run these through now. And we cull them later at the final stage. I know somebody's talking about the YouTube algorithm. You know, absolutely, it's changed our lives again. So many of these things come along and change our lives. There was a YouTube algorithm change last June 26th, and it multiplied our YouTube views daily by 100, over 100. We were getting about 200 views a day up till last June, which I thought was kind of cool. 200 people looking at our videos, that's really cool. And now it's running nearly 200,000 a day on average. And these are the people who are coming up the stairs, you know. They may or may not be print collectors. And in fact, among the people who came yesterday, I heard the same story again and again. I know they watch the videos for relaxing. Maybe in bed even before sleeping, stuff like that. So I'm not quite sure I want to hear such news, you know. Somebody can't sleep, but one day's video's on and it's so boring he'll be asleep in 5 minutes, you know. I'm not quite so sure that's what I really want to hear, but whatever, you take what you can get. You know? Okay, last sheet. What's our time? 9:05. Okay, we got time to get the next part going. Okay, let me finish this. Okay, there we are. Finished batch of prints. What is there? Did anybody count them? I think I went through 60 or 70 sheets. There's 2 prints each. That's 120 prints. All going out to a new life all over the world. Let me wrap them up here. Okay, those will go over to our only shipping center and out to the waiting subscribers, one by one by one. Now, what's next this morning is this. It's me. I'm going to have to abandon you for a minute. I've got to go and pick up what I need. Now, what we're going to do is this. What did I do with it? Just a minute here. Here it is. On the YouTube the other day, or on the Twitch stream the other day, people saw me putting in the embossing on the lettering on the first of our subscription prints for next year. Well, now they're ready. They're almost finished printing the second print in the year, and I've got to get the embossing board ready for that. So today, my job now in the next few minutes, I've got the embossing board for the second print. I haven't got the calligraphy into it yet, and let me go and get the print. Just give me a minute. I've got to go and get the print and the the plastic ready for this. Just a moment. I should have prepared everything. Okay, give me a minute. I gotta go and get the stuff. Sorry. Back in 1 or maybe 2 minutes. If I don't knock everything off the table. Okay, where's the envelope with the juicy? Jeez, come on, Dave, where did you put it? It's under the computer. No, it's not. Okay, here it is. There's part 1. Just a minute. Okay, I should have prepared all those things in advance. I'm sorry. All right, where are we? Coca-Cola, whatever. Okay. Again, I'm not sure how much of who knows what. What we've got here is a polymer plate. It's prepared with a few things. It's got the captions for the next 4 of these prints. And it's got the sign. The second print in the series has, this is a first junk test printing. It's not what the print's going to look like. Green faces, that's not it. Jed, don't panic if you're still here. But there's a sign, and in the sign there's very delicate complex lettering, and we've got a polymer plate for this. So my job right now is to get the base ready so that we can print it like I did the other day. So I've got to come to Twitch to learn about Japanese printmaking. Not so much today. Now the print is going to be going in Where's the registration corner? That's the registration corner. What have we done here? That's the registration corner. No. What are we doing here? Here it is. This is the registration corner. Okay. The caption will be going in that space. So the sign will be going up in this space. So it's my job here now to try and get this located in a place where it will show properly. So I think to do that, you guys are on your own for a while, are you? Sorry, okay, no problem. Is there anything in the question box while I was away? Nope. Let me try and find. Let me try and find this thing I'm working on. Here we go. Picture number 2. Hey. Okay, this is what I'm doing. This is Jed's rough design for this print. This is our first rough mock-up. We're just doing test coloring. There's no green faces coming. But anyway, you can see the point. At the top of the print, there's a sign area. And we've got lettering for that, and I've now got to position them properly. I won't be printing this today. The prints are not done yet, so I'm just getting the board ready for doing this. And there's a second question, which maybe you guys can give me some advice on. If you see the sample print in the bottom corner there, you'll see that there's a caption for it. And the point has come up, and in fact this came from Jed. He thought we don't need that caption, that the print, the joke, the gag stands alone as it is without the actual verbalization of the joke. And I think that's true, but I think if there is no caption, then when people first look at it, they're going to think, what is the joke? Because there's 2 or 3 things that the joke could be. So I think we actually need to put the caption in there to sort of, to give the gag, I don't know, closure, as it were. I think that's too big, actually. Oh, maybe not. Boy, this is going to be critical to get this positioned. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. So what's your bets here? With caption or without caption, you know? Can you order yours with caption and in Swedish? You know, we were chatting about this the other day, you know, offering these things in different languages. And at the moment, what I've done is I put the captions onto the first one, the first batch of the first one. But I left off a dozen or so sheets. We're going to be reprinting anyway, it doesn't matter. And we're definitely going to do something in Japanese. This is too large, I think. That's too large. I prepared this for this thing in a couple of different sizes. There's a smaller one as well. My personal thinking at the moment is that we should do them with caption. They should do this one with a caption, but Jed may wrestle me on that. I'm not sure. I think that's better. For those of you who are waiting, it's just after 9 o'clock. If you're waiting for Cameron to show, it's not going to happen today. This is Saturday. He won't be here. And in fact, it's 9:19 already. Soka. This is not Cameron. This is, who's the staff today? Kawai-san. It'll be Kawai-san coming. No, it's Ishikawa-san. Look at this. Hello, I recognize those footsteps. Hello, hello.
Hi, ohayou gozaimasu.
Itani, we're online. People are watching. Can you say hello?
Hi.
This is Ishikawa-san. She's coming in early today. You're here. They're seeing this view. So.
あ、ちょうどじゃないちょうどじゃない
So I'm putting
ねえ、
the,
ちょう
so
どだね。あ、そ
so
う
I
かい。
stole one. I stole one of your, it's just a junk print, right?
あ、そうだね、そうだね。
ごめんね。自分の机から。
いえいえ、とんでもないです。ありがとうございます。
what's the status?
喋って大丈夫
いいのか。みんな聞いてますよ。
妖怪足りないでしょなんか、そういう話があって、で、菅さんがね、今風邪ひいて、で、あれも大変だから、だから私が妖怪をできるだけ。
ですが、ちょっと石川さんのメール届く前に、安井さんのメールで妖怪足りないでしょうと、
電話したよ。
ちょっと待ってね。ちょうどその時、あゆみさんが次の仕事何ですかって話もあったんです。で、あゆみさんがまだ大丈夫みたいですから、1月に入ってからまたやりたいです。でそうすると今ボタン吸ってますが、その次は何ですか、ちょうど安井さんからのメールもあったんですから、じゃあちょっと考えましょう。妖怪もまだやったことない。そう、いいでしょう、やりますよ。あゆみさんの話も入ったんです。で、その後、石川さんも私にできますから。だから。
いいですか、喋って。
はい。
はい。私、どっちも喋りました。そして、大橋さんにも、って少ないから、じゃあ、妖怪やるわっていう話は、大橋さんと話してて、私が。だけど、それでしょで、とりあえず安井さんから3種類足りないって言われてて、1種類は、大橋さんやったことあるんです。だから、それやってもらったら多分早いと思う。あとの2つは大橋さんやってないんですね。で、1つだけ大橋さんやったことある。ビームが出るやつ、車の。あれは彼女やってるんで、だからあれをやってもらったらいかがですか？
OK。でも彼女はやったことがあるものか、まだやったことないものか、どっちが楽しいんですか？
そうですか。じゃあどうぞ。
いや、I don't care. It doesn't matter to me.
とりあえず私今日紙切って示しますんで。
ありますか？青井さんに用意しました。
言いました。
今、昨日の動作？
はい。
今干してあるもの。
そう。だからとりあえず、それで。取りますよ、私。取りますか？大丈夫です。乗ります。
河合さん、あと何分で来るんですか？
取ってもらおうかな。はい。
はい、ありがとうございます。
大橋さん次いつ来るんですか？
週末いないと思いますが、月か、冷凍庫にマークあるかもしれない。
多分、妖怪は次から次へとなくなるんですよ。少しずつね。だから、大橋さんがやったことないのはいっぱいこれからも出てくるんで、それで大丈夫だと思います。
私が両方から話入ったんですけど、本当に誰がやるか。今、ボタンやってる途中ですね、彼女が。その次も決まってみたらいいかな。
あと、だってこれやるっていっぱい言ってたんでしょ？版画クラブ。いっぱいだって、ブルさんがこれないって言って、大橋さんが全部それをメモにして、足りてないやつ。
どの作品ですか？そう、メモありますね。
そうでしょ？彼女があれを持ってて、じゃあ次あれやろう、これやろうって言ってたのに、やんないのそれは。
I don't know. だからこの中に安井さんがとりあえず妖怪作ってください。
って言ったからってことかな。
だからそのものもメモに入ってます。
わかった。
どっちが一番厳しいかわかんない。ハンガークラブの場合は、とりあえず在庫のために、妖怪は人が待ってるみたいですから、1月に出す必要あるか、まだそこまで安井さんに聞いてないですから。
1月1日に請求書を出したいって言ってた。
あ、そう。この3つとも
できれば。
あ、そう
でもそれ無理だから、とりあえずその一番急いでるやつは私が今から。多分できると思うんで。でも1月1日に請求書って彼女仕事しないよね。
ないですよ、もちろん。だから私が全客に1月のものはちょっと遅れになりますよ。スタッフの年末年始の休みまだありますから。このシリーズも最初の作品は1日出さない。
出さないよね。
もちろん。
ブルさんが字入れてくださったんですよね。1月分ね。なんかそういう話を。いいね。あらいいじゃない？
綺麗でしょ？
持ってたりする。
簡単。もう本当に簡単。これから自分でやります。
わかった。いいね。
先日私は Twitch でやったんですね。ストリーミングのところ。
でやったのね。で、なんか日本語が入るってどういう意味？
だから日本語版も欲しい。今ストリームの中にちょっといい？
地名悪いから。
スウェーデン語も欲しい。だから、ちょっと待って、そこまで考えてないんですが、今の間にちょっと10何枚置いといて、絶対日本語版も作りたいですね。
で、外国の方にね。
そう。でも全員スウェーデン語、フランス語、ドイツ語、そこまではできない。
できないけど。
一人は足りんですよ。
そうだね。
時間かかりますから、しょうがない。not $25. But anyway, 絶対日本語版も作る。
そっか。
で、今そのものを、あゆみさんか石川さんのものか分かんない。15枚ぐらいだけをまとめて。
彼女の
冷凍庫にまで入ってますから。
本当。じゃあ今、また申し込んでんの？日本語。
河合さん、ハロー。だから今考え中です。だからまだ日本語。
分かった。
誰が石川さんにもか、河合さんにもか。ちょっと日本語の。
河合さんごめんね。取ってくれる？紙。
干したどう
ごめんね。ありがとう。
Come upstairs with me, she says. Okay, sorry to ignore you all, you guys. Whatever. It's AM. It's 9:25 a.m. in Tokyo right now. We're just about ready to start the day in our shop. Kawai-san's just arrived. Ishikawa-san's just arrived for a day of printing. And I am done. I've done what I'm supposed to do this morning. And this is it for me today. So sorry it hasn't been an actual printmaking session today. Now, what's going to happen the next few days? Today is Saturday. Tomorrow is Sunday. Next day is Monday. And again, I still don't have active printing work on my desk. So I don't know about the stream for the next couple of days. To recap what's happening here. Christmas for us, 25th is a normal shop day. So the shop will be open on the 25th. I would normally be doing a stream on the morning of the 25th, which for you is the evening of the 24th. Tuesday, the 26th for us is our closing day. I won't be here. I'll be out in our Ome workshop on the 26th, which for you is the 25th. And you don't want to be mucking about with this stuff anyway. You've got your family on the 25th. Then the rest of the week will be normal for us. And then we are closed January 1, 2, 3. So the first 3 days of the year, there will be no stream, no communication, no nothing. I've got lots of things to do, but no streams. So for you, that's the 31st, 1st, and 2nd. So that's the schedule. But on top of that, as I mentioned here a couple of days, I don't have right now carving and printing work on my desk. Just fill-in jobs like you've seen here. So there will be days in this week coming up where I won't be streaming. I'll try and think about it a day in advance and post a message on the Twitch image there. There will be a stream tomorrow. There won't be a stream tomorrow. So on the days there isn't, please, give me a break to understand that and spend the time with your families. Anyway, that's it for today. I'm off out of here now. This block is now ready for Ishikawa-san to do her printing on. I'm off into the shop, and I think hopefully I'll see you tomorrow if I can find some work to do. If I don't, I won't. Thank you very much for coming along, and I'm out of here for the day. Bye-bye for now, guys. Thank you. Today is a public holiday in Japan? I don't think so. Oh, yeah. Yeah. 23rd. It's the Emperor's birthday or something, maybe even. I don't even know. Shows you what I know about it. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye. See you next time. Step 1, camera off. Step 2, find the stop streaming button. Thanks again. Bye, guys. See you next time. Thank you again.